Hi everyone, and welcome to another conversation. I've got Dr. Chris again with me here. I've really enjoyed the last couple of weeks that we've had these great conversations, and I think people at home would be really finding this helpful. So today we're going to, we talked about self-care last time, and this time we're talking about, I guess, recognising when someone that you might be close to, how to care for them and how that looks. But first of all, as always, we're going to start off with a little icebreaker here. Do not know how this is going to turn out, but anyway, we've got these giant cards. Thanks for that, Joe. And we're going to attempt to make a house of cards, or so. Man, my engineering skills, I just don't know, but let's give it a go. The first two I pick up are jokers. That's pretty. Oh, look at the way you're going. You're
going
the
an ace first, so.
Well, we know who's going to win this, don't we?
Yes.
We're in a lot of trouble here. Oh, look at you! You're going the multi-room.
Yeah, that's right.
Dual living.
Increases its resale value.
Well, it does. You got to think about that. As you know, Chris, that's my background. I'm a property valuer, so I'm all about
what do you value my property out here.
That one.
Yeah,
mate.
Just don't let the housing inspector check it out too closely.
It doesn't finish there. You sort of think, oh yeah, I'm on a start now. Hey, what's up?
Destroyed.
There we go. Thanks for indulging me there, Chris.
That's all right. I'm going to declare myself the winner, though.
Yeah, no, I think you did very well. Definitely had a bigger footprint than I did.
Yes.
So we're going to discuss about recognising when you see those loved ones or those people that you're close with and might be struggling at the moment. It's always it's a tricky situation, isn't it? How do you even start up that conversation?
So starting that conversation, it can be difficult and it can feel really awkward, especially if that person hasn't explained to you what's going on or opened up to you yet. So it can be helpful to be honest, understanding, polite, but still direct, asking somebody whether they're okay, telling them that you're worried about them. And then having a reason, a good explanation why the things that you've seen and the things that you might think are going on. And so one of the really important things is to be able to accept that person where they're at the moment, and that if they're going through a hard time, that letting them know that you're there for them, that you can support them.
Generally speaking, the one that you're looking out for is a loved one. You do love them dearly, and your heart bleeds for them, and you just so want to jump out and help that person.
That's right.
You've got to take those steps where, okay, it has got to be the right time for them, and and how you approach it.
Sometimes people, they're not quite ready yet to take that next step, and being respectful of that can be helpful as well, and letting them know that you're there for them and being able to spend time with them.
Just looking at a level of trust.
Trust is a really important aspect of looking after somebody who's struggling, and you obviously will need your own support network, but at the same time you need to be able to respect that person's privacy. So if you're looking after somebody and you're starting to feel like you're struggling with being able to care for that person, it's helpful to have some people who can look after you. But it's important that you can talk to them about what you're going through, not about what they're going through. And respecting their privacy is one really important part of maintaining their trust.
Asking for professional help is not a bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeking professional opinions and professional help is a really important part of understanding what's going on, both with the person that you're looking after and with yourself. And somebody who you can talk to, who you know is going to respect your privacy, who's going to give you a good professional opinion as well. Talking to your doctor, psychologist is a brilliant person who can help to work through what's going on in your mind and the way that you can look at the way that you're thinking to help you to find the best way out of that place where you're feeling like you're struggling, you're feeling down. And it's important as well to be aware that if things are really coming to a head, particularly if they're expressing things like taking their own life or hurting themselves or hurting somebody else, make sure that you reach out straight away. There's some numbers that we can put up here that you can call and that can get you through to somebody who can give you some good advice on what to do right now. There's lots of situations people can find themselves in that can really affect them and make them feel quite low. And quite often we see it when things like finances are getting difficult, and we're certainly entering a time where there could be a lot of economic hardship coming through. You know, we quite often see it when there's been the loss of a loved one in the family and there's a long grieving process. And we quite often see it when there's been a loss of a relationship or of work, or when somebody's gone through some kind of upheaval. It can really affect that person. And it's really common as well to feel down and to not know where to turn to and not know the best way to handle it. And so being able to talk to that person openly and directly in a way that's loving and look after them can be really important at the same time.
Looking after yourself is just as, or probably even more important than looking after someone else.
Bring up a really good point, because looking after somebody when they're struggling can be really hard on yourself sometimes, and having your own support network becomes really important. And that might be family or friends, and you don't have to tell them everything that's going on, but just somebody that you can spend time with. Even talking about other stuff can be really helpful as well. Having your own doctor that you can talk to, having your own even psychologist can be really helpful as well.
In all this, I can see that there is also a message of hope. You know, we've talked about a lot of heavy stuff, but there's definitely hope out there. And it seems like, you know, from what we've been talking, it's important to get people the professional help that they need, you know, but also the opportunity to be a good friend to someone. And really appreciate this conversation, Chris, and really look forward to the next ones that are coming up. And we'll see you next time. Bye.